Okay, well then you're a complete idiot. You hold the president less accountable than a radio show host, and that proves that you're a complete imbecile. There's no point in having a conversation with you because you're claiming that me putting up a picture of the shooter wearing a Trump shirt, not even knowing that it was a Photoshop picture, is more dangerous than the president of the United States at a funeral, Charlie Kirk's funeral, saying that he hates half of America.
Real quick, I have a thing about this thing with Jimmy Kimmel, and I kind of want to get your stance on it. Do you think it was like Donald Trump's like direct order to get his show taken off the air?
I absolutely believe that he was a huge part of it. This wasn't just the guy from the FCC who said, you know what, let's get Jimmy Kimmel off the air. It's not a coincidence that Donald Trump has been going after Jimmy Kimmel for years and Jimmy Kimmel has been going at Donald Trump for years. So the answer would be yes. Right. I think it starts from the top all the way down. This wasn't somebody who said, we got to get Jimmy Kimmel off the air. No, it was Donald Trump that was whispering in their ear and putting pressure on them like he does for everybody else because he has the mob boss mentality. So the answer is yes.
Do you think it was more so from like the first comment where like Jimmy Kimmel mentioned?
No. I don't.
You don't think
no, I don't think it was about either comment. I think Charlie Kirk was murdered, which we hopefully all could agree was a terrible thing. And Donald Trump was looking for any excuse to get him off the air. And I think this was the perfect opportunity for him to do so. Now, thank God he failed, but it was, it all came together and they thought that this would be the best timing to do it. That's what I think. If Charlie Kirk wasn't assassinated, they probably wouldn't have done it, but they thought it was the right timing to do it. And they failed.
I don't see. I disagree with you there. I don't. Well, I disagree with what the FCC director said. Like, I don't think it's right of him to go onto like whatever podcast he was on and say, oh, we're going to do this, that, the other. But I think it really came down to, I think if you're a public figure and you work for a private company, if you say crazy things, you get taken off the air. You know that being in radio.
Not on Fox News. Not on Fox News. Not on conservative talk radio. Not on Fox News. They don't get taken off the air.
Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News.
Well, I understand that.
The other day, it's not about red. It's not about blue. It's about green, right? If you say stuff that's going to cost your company money,
but that's the thing. You can lie on the air and it doesn't cost your company money. I can guarantee you nothing Jimmy Kimmel said costed the company money. In fact, many of
but
his.
It did, though.
No, I disagree with you. There are not many. Hang on. There are not many. There are not many MAGA supporters that are fans of Jimmy Kimmel.
Radio is not all that different from TV. I mean, it is. Video killed the radio star. But if you were to go on a rant one day and you were to say some crazy stuff about a certain race or religion, whatever you want to do. The people that broadcast
Jimmy Kimmel didn't do that.
I'm saying, but hang on. But what I'm saying is the people that broadcast your show can say, "Hey, Brian, we don't like what you stand for. Our advertisers don't want to advertise during your show."
I work for myself. I'm independent media, so that would never happen.
But you were for a station, right? You did work for a station in the past.
I've worked for stations in the past, but if you're talking about me right now, I only represent myself. And number two, Jimmy Kimmel did not do that. He didn't make any racist comments. Let me be clear here. If Jimmy Kimmel, hold on a second. Hang on. Well, no, wait. Let me make my point first, and then your turn. If Jimmy Kimmel had gone on the air and celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk, I would absolutely agree with the firing. He did not do that. Nothing that Jimmy Kimmel did rises to any level of what Fox News does on the air every single day. But you see, it makes Fox News money. When Jesse Waters goes on the air or Laura Ingraham goes on the air and they attack minorities and they lie, or they say they are eating the cats and the dogs, which we know is not true, or Trump won the 2020 election, which is not true. They don't take them off the air.
I agree,
it's a double standard. It's a double standard.
Say crazy thing. Okay, Tucker Carlson got kicked off the air. He got kicked off the air. So you can't be like, oh, it's a complete double standard.
And why did Tucker Carlson? And why did Tucker Carlson get taken off the air?
I don't recall the exact details.
You don't call. So why are you making the? So why are you making? So why are you making the point if you don't know the details? Tucker Carlson lied on the air every single day for years. If you are trying to make the case that they fired him because he put out misinformation, that is absurd. All these anchors and all these shows and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham lie on the air every single day. With all due respect, sir, Ryan, what you're saying is wrong. It's not true.
But do you think that saying a comment like that, like, okay, let's say he would have came out and be like, the comment he said that the MAGA gang is trying to make it seem like this shooter was anyone but themselves. That is saying
that's true. It's true. It's true. It's true what Jimmy Kimmel said. Yeah. So when he used the term MAGA gang, he's talking about people on the far right that immediately were saying this was a lefty Democrat liberal without knowing any of the information of this individual. You know what they did when the first assassination attempt of Donald Trump happened? Do you remember that? Remember when everybody out there on the right was blaming a lefty Democrat when it turned out to be a registered Republican? The point that Jimmy Kimmel was trying to make is these idiots on the far right are claiming that it's the left. They killed Charlie Kirk when they have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
No. He said they're trying to say it's anyone but them. It could be middle, left, terrorist, whatever it is. He said anyone but them.
Yeah.
Like he's saying in as many words that it is that. It is one of them.
No, he did not say that. He did not say that.
I think maybe. So do you think it's problematic before all the evidence comes out to be like, hey, he's one of them?
Do you realize how many times that happens on the far right?
I'm going somewhere with that.
What did he say with them? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Like what his comment was. It was
what
the
was
MAGA
it again?
gang is trying to make it seem like it was anyone other than them.
Well, yeah, that's true. They are doing that. And they still don't know. He wasn't a registered Democrat. We know that for sure. We also know he came from...
Would you condemn that from the other side?
I condemn anybody in general terms, I'm speaking right now, that put blame on... I'm trying to answer your question. That put blame on anybody without knowing all the facts. But he was correct. But he was correct when he said the MAGA gang, meaning MAGA Republicans, are trying to make sure that they pin it on everybody else but them. When we had the casualties that took place in New Orleans, they said that it was an undocumented immigrant and it was Joe Biden's open borders. They never retracted that. They do it all the time. They blame it on a transgender. We heard that it was a transgender. We heard it was a transgender. I don't think anything Jimmy Kimmel said.
Do you think people on both sides should be able to retract and apologize for when they get it wrong?
First of all,
someone were to say, if someone on the left, like right before the evidence came out, if someone on the left were to be like, this guy's a Trumper and post fake stuff saying that he's MAGA, would you condemn that?
I think it depends on the person and it depends on the circumstance. There are doctored photos.
I'll give you an example.
I'm giving an example. You got to let me finish. Okay, please don't interrupt. Let me finish. There are doctored photos all over the internet. I didn't know they were doctored photos, and I take ownership of that. I saw a picture of this guy. I thought it was a real photo. I didn't Photoshop it. I don't know who did, but it was a picture of the shooter wearing a Trump shirt. There are also people that do things with no ill intention. They don't know that they are.
So you retract that, right?
Okay, is that a serious question, sir? I mean, are you an idiot?
No, I'm
asking you. I'm a serious question. Are you an idiot? What did I just say? Do I have to repeat myself over again?
Some people
Pod this idiot down. You obviously don't listen. And I know what you're trying to do. I will repeat myself once again so a MAGA moron like you can understand. Okay, I'll repeat it again. There are people that put things on social media or say things with no ill intent. For example, I just brought up the fact that I saw a picture of the shooter wearing a Trump shirt. And the reason why I thought it was a real picture is because he came from a conservative family, very Republican, very MAGA. I didn't doctor the photo. I believed it was real. I found out later that it wasn't. If I knew that it wasn't real, I wouldn't have put it up. Now, does that bother you more than the rhetoric of Donald Trump at a funeral claiming that the left is responsible and he hates all the left and the left is responsible? They killed Charlie Kirk. What do you think is more damaging to the American people? No, wait, let me ask you a question now. Let me ask you a question now. Let me ask you. Okay. Let me ask you a question. That means you need to stop talking. That means you need to stop talking because I'm going to ask the question very slowly and distinctly. What do you think is more dangerous? Somebody like me putting up a picture that was uninformed that it was a doctored photo of the shooter wearing a Trump shirt, or Donald Trump saying he hates half of America at Charlie Kirk's funeral? What do you think is more dangerous for the country?
Am I unmuted? I think yours is.
Okay, well then you're a complete idiot. You hold the president less accountable than a radio show host, and that proves that you're a complete imbecile. There's no point in having a conversation with you because you're claiming that me putting up a picture of the shooter wearing a Trump shirt, not even knowing that it was a Photoshop picture, is more dangerous than the president of the United States at a funeral, Charlie Kirk's funeral, saying that he hates half of America. Sir, that makes you a moron, okay? And that's the end of the conversation. You just proved how stupid you are. So it's been a very interesting week. I've had a lot of interesting phone calls. That would be one of them.